When discussing the dream team of Football Club Barcelona, many fans may immediately think of the 2009 sextuple winning side led by Pep Guardiola, considered by many to be the greatest team to ever play the game. Others may recall the 2015 treble winning side led by Luis Enrique, featuring the formidable MSN trio. However, there was a Barcelona side before both of these, the one that pioneered the foundation for the club's future success and instilled the philosophy of total football within FC Barcelona. Welcome to Cruyff's Barcelona. The foundation for this dream team began to be laid in the 1988 season. As the 1987-88 season came to a close, FC Barcelona found itself in a state of turmoil, financially burdened and struggling professionally. With a sixth place finish in La Liga, one of the worst seasons in club history, the club was also facing a player rebellion against President Josep Luis Núñez, infamously known as the Hesperia Mutiny, as disputes over contracts, payments, and taxes led to resistance from the first team squad. The fans, who were frustrated with the team's poor performance, also sided with the board. This resulted in the dismissal of 15 players and the coach, Luis Aragonés Suarez. With elections approaching, Núñez needed a significant change to help regain his position at the club and secure his chances of winning the upcoming election. So on 4th of May 1988, he made a historic move by appointing Johan Cruyff as the new manager of FC Barcelona, a move that changed Football Club Barcelona forever. During the 1987-88 season, FC Barcelona had a roster of 22 players, 11 of whom were La Masia Academy graduates. It was a well-balanced team composed of both academy graduates and other players. However, due to the Hesperia mutiny and a poor overall performance, Barca sold 15 players. In need of rebuilding, Johan Cruyff took swift action. Before the start of the new season, he brought in 12 new players, among them Chiqui Begiristain, Jose Mari Baquero, Julio Salinas, and Eusebio emerged as crucial members of Cruyff's future dream team. The Barca of the 1988-89 season was so much better than that of the previous season. They finished second in La Liga with 57 points, just behind Real Madrid by 5 points. They scored a total of 80 goals, which was second best in the league, and conceded just 26 goals, which was best in the league. In the following transfer window, Ronald Koeman, Michael Laudrup, and several other players joined FC Barcelona. While Koeman and Laudrup would become key figures in Cruyff's future dream team, they struggled to make an impact in their first season. Ronald Koeman in particular had a disappointing debut campaign. The 1989-90 season saw FC Barcelona finish in third place in the league, 11 points behind Real Madrid and 2 points behind Valencia. The only positive outcome of the season was a 2-0 victory over Real Madrid in the final of the Kings Cup, now known as Copa del Rey. This helped Cruyff retain his job as club president Josep Luis Núñez rejected a vote of no confidence from the socios to dismiss him. The 1990-91 season marked the beginning of the Dream Team era. Before the start of the new season, FC Barcelona made additional transfers, including Hristo Stoichkov, who proved to be the final piece in completing the Dream Team. However, Cruyff faced a personal setback as his long-time smoking habit resulted in a double heart bypass surgery in 1991. During the last 9 games of the season, his assistant Karl Rexach took charge, and FC Barcelona secured the first league title in 6 years, breaking Real Madrid's monopoly during that time. During his first 3 seasons, Cruyff won 3 titles with FC Barcelona. He gave 12 academy graduates their debut, with half of them debuting in the 1990-91 season. Pep Guardiola was among the 6 academy graduates to debut that season. In the 1991-92 season, the Barca squad was at their peak. The foundations of the team were already laid and settled, and was further strengthened by the addition of key players like Miguel Angel Nadal and Richard Wischke. The start of the 1991-92 season was not what FC Barcelona had hoped for, as they suffered 4 defeats in their first 7 matches across all competitions against Sevilla, Sporting de Gijón, Hansa Rostock, and Real Oviedo. However, they gradually found their footing and went on to win their first trophy of the season on October 29th by defeating Atletico de Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup finals with an aggregate score of 2-1. However, the most historic moment for FC Barcelona came on 20th of May 1992, the final of the UEFA European Cup at Wembley. It was not their first final in this competition. Barca played in the finals of the European Cup on the previous two occasions. In the 1960-61 finals, they lost against SL Benfica by 3-2, and in the 1985-86 finals, they lost against FC Steaua Bucharest on penalties. But this time it was different. This time they had a great team with a great manager. FC Barcelona went on to win the finals for the first time in their history. It was Ronald Koeman who was the protagonist. His free kick goal in the extra time made the difference. It was the principles of Cruyff that made Barcelona the champions that day. Barca became synonymous with the name Dream Team. The way Cruyff's Barca played was a reference point worldwide. Cruyff included two La Masia graduates, Pep Guardiola and Albert Ferrer, in his starting 11 that faced UC Sampdoria in the finals at Wembley. But good things come in threes, and it came in threes as on June 7, 1992. Barca clinched the La Liga title thanks to Real Madrid's last day defeat against Deportivo Tenerife. Cruyff's Barca has won 3 titles in the 1991-92 season. It was a dream season. A total of 21 players played in that season for Barca, of which 6 of them were from La Masia. It was a squad where most of the players were in their peak age. Now, we will talk about the lineup of this dream team. The starting 11 from Barcelona constantly underwent changes, but this lineup was one that was in action the most, along with others such as Juan Carlos Rodriguez, Andoni Goicoechea, Richard Vizquel, and Fernando Munoz Garcia. Between the sticks stood one of the best goalkeepers in the club's history, Andoni Zubizarreta, putting his great technique and leadership on the field. Zubizarreta was known for his excellent shot-stopping abilities, strong command of his area, and his ability to organize and lead his defense. He was also known for his quick reflexes and agility. He was the key to the success of this dream team. During the 1991-92 season, he played 51 games for Barcelona, keeping 22 clean sheets and conceding 46 goals in the process. Despite his impressive performance, he finished second in the IFFH's World's Best Goalkeeper Awards, being bested by Peter Schmeichel that year. Cruyff used to deploy the back line of 3 with Ronald Koeman as a centre-back. Koeman was a special talent. Not only was he a defender who read the game brilliantly, but he was also a prolific goal scorer. He scored 97 goals in 256 games while playing for Barca, reaching double figures in each of his 6 seasons at Barcelona. Koeman had it all as a defender. He could shut out world-class forwards, spray pinpoint passes across the pitch, advance up the field with the ball at his feet, and strike from deep. This goal against Porto typified what he was all about. Calm in possession, intelligent in exploiting space, and emphatic when he decided to strike. He was the leader of the Barca defense and scored this beautiful free kick in the 112th minute of game to make Barca lift the European Cup for the first time in their history. Alongside Koeman in defense in the right, for most of the time, was Albert Ferrer. He came from the ranks of La Masia. Before Ferrer's emergence, Barcelona had been lacking any real explosiveness from the back, but that's what the Spaniard brought. He could constantly be found bobbing toward the right wing to get involved in his side's attacks, and Barcelona fell so in love with his style of play that they have looked for signings to mimic his play style ever since. In the 1991-92 season, he was sidelined for the most part of the season from serious ACL injury and had recently returned before the European Cup final and was given the huge task of man-marking the Sampdoria danger man Roberto Mancini, and Ferrer executed the plan to a T to help Blaugrana lift their first ever European Cup. On the left-hand side of the defense, Miguel Angel Nadal took the charge, an increasingly regular starter through his first years in Barcelona. He even captained the side on a handful of occasions and became one of their most dependable players. He was nicknamed the Beast of Barcelona because of him being corpulent, strong, and exceptionally well in air. Although he didn't feature in the European Cup final against Sampdoria, He played 9 games in the run for European Cup win. In the center of the park, it was Pep Guardiola. Pep was the puppet master of the team. He acted as the pivot to give instructions and read the continuity of the game to ensure that the tactics of the Mister were being fulfilled. Guardiola was a weak 10 who was transformed into an incredible 6 by Cruyff. He may not have been the most physically gifted player around. However, his football mind and overall ability allowed him to play a crucial role in this Barcelona dream team that essentially kick-started the winning mentality that the club exhibits today. He would not go forward much to attack the opposition, but will often cover the spaces left behind back three while they were on the attack, making sure that the opponent does not have a clear run on goal on the break of the Barcelona attack. On the right hand of the midfield, it was Eusebio Sacristan. He was the guy who was a specialist in man marking and will often carry the task of man marking of opponents' most dangerous player, as instructed by Johan Cruyff. He will drop into the defensive positions while opponent was on attack, giving the team more solidarity in defense. He will often go into the attack and in the process will exchange his position with teams forward and will exploit the opponent's defense. Eusebio had not scored much in his career, but was a constant menace for the oppositions. Partnering Eusebio and Pep in the midfield, on the left was Guillermo Amor. Amor was the key player in the success of Dream Team and was known for his technical ability, vision, and passing range. He was able to control and dictate the game from midfield and was known for his ability to create scoring opportunities for his teammates. He was also a versatile player, able to play as a defensive or attacking midfielder. He was a player with great humility and leadership skills, which earned him the respect of his teammates and coaches. Playing just ahead of these guys in offensive midfield position was the club captain Jose Mari Baquero. He signed for Barca in 1988 from Real Sociedad and was an attacking midfielder who gave everything for the team as he linked up with the forwards. His amazing ability to lose his marker and terrific heading also meant he contributed a number of important goals. He immediately settled into the scheme of things under Johan Cruyff, showing excellent leadership skills, and thanks to his versatility, he soon became one of the most important members of the Dream Team, to the extent that the many people described him as the heart and soul of the system. There is no doubt that the most decisive goal of his career was won on the 6th of November 1991, away to Kaiserslautern in the second leg of the European Cup round of 16. With 30 seconds to go, Barca were losing 3-0 and on their way out of the competition. Koeman crossed and Baquero sent the ball flying into the back of the German net. Thanks to that goal, Barcelona continued on a journey that would eventually take them to the Wembley final and club's first ever European Cup title. On the wings, Cruyff's wingers were expected to be versatile, technically skilled, and tactically aware players who were able to contribute to both attacking and defensive play and exploit the wide areas of the pitch as much as possible. To carry this, on the right side, Barca had one of the footballing icon, Risto Stoichkov. He was a forward known for his incredible dribbling skills, powerful shots, and aggressive playing style. Tactically, Stoichkov was a very important part of the team's play, able to drop deep and link up with the midfielders or to play as a center forward and score goals. He was also an important part of the press and counter press system in defense, as he always worked hard to win back the ball and start quick attacking transitions. Overall, Stoichkov was a key player for the Barcelona in a dream team of 1992, contributing to the dream success with his goal scoring ability, work ethic, and leadership. He also won the Ballon d'Or in 1994 after leading his country Bulgaria all the way to semi-finals of World Cup in 1994. On the left side of the pitch, partnering Stoichkov on the wings was Chiki Begiristain. Chiki was a classically quick-witted player, capable of producing both skill and fantasy. He was a perfect master of one-on-one and often finished off his moves with accurate crosses or powerful shots. Manager Johan Cruyff's common solution for finding ways through in difficult matches was to tell his players to get the ball to Chiki. He was also a player with a very down-to-earth nature, and that won him the full affections of the fans. He recorded 80 goals and 13 assists during his playing time for Barcelona. Leading the attack of this team from the front was Michael Laudrup. Laudrup was instrumental in Barca's 4 consecutive La Liga titles, but once again, not an automatic selection due to foreign player roster restrictions. Laudrup typically played as a pacey attacking midfielder and was usually placed near the front line. Numerous strikers, including such talents as Risto Stoichkov, Romario, and Raul, declared him to be amongst the most talented players they ever played with. As well as technique, he also offered rare dribbling ability. And despite not being a great goal scorer himself, he frequently brought out the best in others through his ability to collect and distribute the ball in small spaces. But he also demonstrated considerable versatility, playing as a second striker, defensive midfielder, and winger throughout his career. Throughout his career, his ability to elegantly play effective, cutting through balls earned him immense praise from teammates and opponents. Michael Laudrup was utilized many times as some sort of false nine, being one of the pioneers of this position for Cruyff. There were times when Stoichkov played in the middle and Eusebio Moreno attack, others when Laudrup played a little bit behind. Different variations, but always with the same idea and conviction. Incorporating the Dutch principles of total football, it wasn't long before the Dream Team began to dominate. The first of many trophies arrived in the shape of UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1989, after beating the Serie A side Sampdoria 2-0, courtesy of the goals from Salinas and Lopez Recarte. In the 1989-90 season, Barcelona won the Copa del Rey after defeating Real Madrid 2-0, thanks to goals from Guillermo Amor and Salinas. In the 1990-91 season, FC Barcelona clinched its first La Liga title in 5 seasons, ending Madrid's monopoly in the competition. In this season, Barcelona also reached the final of the UEFA European Cup Winners' Cup, only to be beaten by Manchester United, managed by Sir Alex Ferguson. In the 1991-92 season, FC Barcelona dominated the world football. The first silverware of the season arrived in the form of the Supercopa de España, after Barcelona defeated Atletico Madrid 2-1 on aggregate score over 2 legs. But this was just the beginning. Barcelona went on to win their first European Cup in their history by defeating Sampdoria 1-0 in the iconic Wembley Stadium, courtesy of a free kick goal by Ronald Koeman in the 112th minute of the match. Barcelona also clinched their second consecutive league title to finish the season. In the 1992-93 season, Barcelona claimed another Supercopa, again beating Atletico Madrid 5-2 on aggregate score over 2 legs. Later in that season, Barcelona won the UEFA Super Cup, defeating German side SV Werder Bremen 3-2 on aggregate score over 2 legs. Barcelona also went on to complete the hat-trick of La Liga this season. In the 1993-94 season, Barcelona went on to clinch their fourth consecutive La Liga title and the last of Cruyff's era. Barcelona also managed to reach the final of the UEFA Champions League, formerly known as the European Cup, in the Olympic Stadium of Greece's capital, Athens. They were huge favourites, but they got outplayed by Italian giants AC Milan and lost 4-0, which also marked the beginning of the decline of this dream team. The 1994-95 season was horrific for Barcelona. They only managed to win the Supercopa de España after defeating Real Zaragoza 6-5 on aggregate over 2 legs. The 1995-96 season is best remembered as the end of Cruyff's era. This season, Barcelona didn't test any silverware, and Johan Cruyff also got sacked at the end of the season after a huge disagreement with the board and president José Luis Núñez. It was an astonishing period of success, defined by revolutionary, possession-based football. In total, Cruyff won 11 trophies between 1988 and 96, making him the most successful manager in Barcelona's history until the record was broken by his protege, Pep Guardiola, 2 decades later. In the summer of 1993, Cruyff added the ultimate individualist to a team bristling with its fair share of soloists, tossing the Brazilian striker Romario into the mix. For 12 wonderful months, it worked perfectly, as Romario lived up to all of his self-aggrandizing prophecies en route to Barcelona's fourth consecutive title, and the third won on the final day of the season thanks to another club's failure. 4 days after that triumph, they met Milan in the Champions League final. This was the beginning of downfall for Cruyff's era. Barcelona got outplayed that night by Milan in Greece, and a 4-0 humiliation ensured Cruyff's confidence was misplaced, and the dream team ended that sorry night. With the disappointing results in following seasons, it was just a matter of time before Barcelona and Cruyff would part their ways. And finally, the day came at the end of 1996, when Johan Cruyff was sacked by club president Josep Luis Nunez. Yet, Cruyff and his side marked a distinct point in the club's history. Before 1990, Barcelona had won 10 league titles and no European Cups in their entire history. Since 1990, they have claimed 16 league titles and 5 European Cups. But Cruyff's legacy extends beyond the trophies he won. Guardiola, a disciple of Cruyff, summed up his impact by saying, "Before he came, we didn't have a cathedral of football, this beautiful church at Barcelona. We needed something new. And now it is something that has lasted. It was built by one man, by Johan Cruyff, stone by stone."